Tim, great talking to you again. Thank you so much for the time. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. I'm always
Good.
excited for conversations with folks that I know are really funny. One, but two have entertained me for years. But I'm especially excited for this conversation, Tim, because I love to find commonalities between the people that I'm speaking with. And for you and I, there is a unique one. We have both not only coached our sons in youth basketball in the past, but we've also both won championships in the process. I don't know about you, but and maybe this says something about me. It's truly one of my greatest accomplishments taking this group of third grade boys just a couple of months ago to an undefeated season and a championship in their rec league basketball season. How did that go for you?
Well, congratulations, first of all, I have to say that. For me, it was like it literally was like the most proud moment of my life. I told my sons, I was like, I've never won anything before. This is the first thing I've ever won. First, we all got these little gold medals or whatever. But it was for the Boys and Girls Club in Lakeview, Illinois, outside it, right in Chicago, but the Lakeview neighborhood. And I just did it for one season. And my youngest son, Julian, was on the team. And it was the most fun I ever had. Like, I'm serious. I would tell all my friends who have kids, I'm like, you should do it, because like you create like this sort of bond with your kid that like is never it never goes away. Like my son and I, we will refer to that game. We'll refer to that game occasionally. We refer to that game occasionally because um, he won and like he won that game for us basically. Like he like he got hot during the game basically, and I couldn't like say anything about it because I didn't want to make him I didn't want to elevate him over the other team. So when we got in the car after the game, I turned to him and I go, "You won that game for us. You did it." And his other friends, they all played great eventually, but like he got hot. He stole balls, ran down court, laid it up, stole another ball, passed it to one of his friends. His friends passed it back, and he shot a 3-pointer. I was just like, I couldn't believe how great he was. Um, and just, you know, I look at that picture even now, this on my phone of my kids of that team, and I just smile. Um, but yeah, I highly recommend it. I think even if we wouldn't have won the boys and girls boys and girls club championship, it still would have been a great experience.
Yeah, it's cool to hear that your son proved that he has that clutch gene, but I'm with you on the fulfillment that comes with doing the volunteer youth coaching thing. I got into it as a result of just looking around and seeing that there weren't a whole lot of people that even had like a base understanding of sports. And so it's like, I at least
Hmm.
understand a little bit. So we'll see what I can do here.
Yes.
My
Yeah.
daughter's volleyball team to go along with their basketball teams now as well. But I told these kids after the championship game, because son did the same thing, not in the championship game, but in the game before. He caught the
Hmm.
hot hand and he ended up with double digit points for the first time all year. And I told him after that game, just like you did your son, I wasn't going to call him out in front of his teammates because I didn't want to go coach his son on him. But I'm like, dude, you
Yeah.
the reason why we just won that game. You were balling in the second half of
Yeah.
that one. But at the end of the championship game, I told all these kids, I'm like, look, guys, we talked about it before the game. There's nothing wrong with being nervous. I was nervous for you guys, and I wasn't having to take the court. But you turned
Hmm.
those nerves into a superpower, and you won that game
Hmm.
way. Like you guys are gonna
Yeah.
forget about this in like the next 3 or 4 years. I'm not even kidding. I told all of them, I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna carry this with me for the rest of my life. So proud of you guys right now, and we're obviously
Yeah.
smiles on their faces too.
Yeah. I remember from that day too, like my kid, they were all friends, like their team. And when I got to the game, which was at 7 o'clock, they showed up sweating. And I was like, what have you guys been doing? And he go, we were playing basketball in the alley. And I go, no, you're not supposed to play basketball. You're supposed to play basketball now. You don't play basketball all day. And so when they got out there, they were tired, you know. And so, but then all of a sudden, like I said, my son, got hot and stuff. But yeah, man, it's so funny. It's so funny. Like, yeah, like I said, I highly recommend people do it. It's just amazing.
I know you're a Detroit guy originally, and I believe you live there
Yeah,
now, but you obviously spent a lot of years in Chicago, as you just talked about. You
yeah,
were part of the cast when Michael Jordan was hosted, and that was a very funny episode too, by the way. Credit MJ, the basketball goat, for holding his own on the
yeah.
SNL stage as well. Do you have any memories of going to Bulls games during their heyday? Even though technically, I guess you would have been in New York City for a lot of that run. Do you have any fond
Right.
memories from going to Bulls games back in the 90s?
Well, I did. I actually had this great experience. Like this, it was a cameraman from this guy was on the cameraman from CBS, and he came to a show at Second City when I was there, and I told the audience that night that I was from Detroit and that the Pistons were playing the Bulls during the improv set, and people booed me on stage. And I just go, I don't care, I don't give a fuck, you know. And so the cameraman in the audience, he goes, "Hey, would you like to come to the game? You can pull the cable for my camera." I go, "Yeah, I can." He goes, "Yeah, you can come and pull the cable." So I came to the game, and I was at the game when somebody threw a bottle on the court at Dennis Rodman, and the game had to be stopped. But yeah, man, I got to see that one game up close, and I actually got to see two games because the second game I got to watch, they just put me up on the 24-second clock, like because the stadium was shaking so much, they needed somebody to hold the camera that was facing the 24-second clock,
Oh,
and
wow.
so they had me go up into the rafters and just like hold down this camera from falling because it was just shaking and stuff. And so I watched the next game from up there, which I think was game four. Um,
What a cool perspective to get to watch a basketball game from.
yeah, man, it was amazing. I got to see it all. It was great. I was on the floor for the first game, like
Mm.
right under the basket. And I got to watch Michael Jordan, and I got to watch the whole thing. And then when Jordan came to host SNL, I told him that like I was on the court, and I told him the story and stuff. And he goes, "Yeah, I was there." He
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, I remember those games. I was there." But he goes, "Yeah, he hated Detroit. He hated Detroit." And he was very nice to me that whole week. And I've even seen him since then, and he's been very nice to me. Uh, I saw him a few years ago, like, God, 10 maybe. And he hit me in the back when I was standing up. And I turned around, it was Michael Jordan. And he goes, "Hey, Tim." And I go, "Hey, Michael." And he goes, "I just want to tell you, I'm so happy whenever I see you and things. I really enjoy watching you have this long career." And I was like, "Thanks, man. I'm so happy when I see you," and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, man, those are good times. I'm still a big Detroit, you know, fan. So
I assume that means you love the Lions too. They're going through quite a renaissance right now.
yeah, yeah, they had a great year. I didn't get too hyped about the Lions though. I kept my expectations kind of realistic. I really did. So like when people were disappointed with the way the season turned out, but I thought it was a great season.
Yeah.
And I think like that kind of loss also prepares you for the next one. It's like they're not going to lose like that again. They're not going to go that far and lose like that. But I of course hope that they would get, all the way to the Super Bowl and stuff. But like I was happy with the way it turned out.
I'm trying to remember. I don't recall if Michael Jordan was a part of the SNL 50th. But how was that for you? That looked like a really cool event to get to be a part of.
Yeah, you know what is it was really fun. It was very surreal. Um, I have to say, like during that weekend, not to be bragging, but I was actually in a play on Broadway. So I was kind of busy and I didn't get to do much with my friends that weekend because I was working. So I got to go to the Radio City Music Hall show, and when I walked into the building, it was like almost over. It was like I got to see Cher perform and David Byrne and some other people, but the rest of the weekend, the live show itself was really fun. You know, I think my big regret the whole weekend was just that I really just didn't have time to like see everybody and spend time with everybody the way I would want to. Like, I saw a bunch of old friends and people I hadn't seen in a while, but we could only talk for like 10 seconds, because somebody else will pull you over or whatever. But yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. I think I mean, I had a bunch of really cool moments. I'm a big Talking Heads fan, and David Byrne was there, and he sat next to me at the 50th anniversary, and I said hello to him, and then I asked him if I could take a picture, and then yeah, my wife was saying like, "Hey, you should talk to him some more because he's sitting there," and I said like, I don't want to ruin anything, I want him to stay on the pedestal, and I don't want him to ever think of me as like that annoying asshole who ruined the 50th anniversary for me, So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just be polite and stuff, and then I'm gonna keep all of my fandom stuff to myself, and I did. But like, and I was telling her like, I don't even know how to explain to him how important he is to me and in my life, my career. And it's almost too much to put on somebody. You know what I mean? Like, and we only got a few minutes to talk, and all I can say to you is that you changed my life and are responsible for everything that I'm doing. It's like,
So we talked about this a year ago, and I asked you if you've ever crossed paths with him, and at that point you said no, and it was kind of the same thing. You're like, how do you put that something that heavy on someone? I think
yeah,
you did just
yeah,
like you did. He obviously knows who you are, so I'm sure he would take that as quite the compliment that you watching Stop Making Sense a million times or whatever it was when you were working at
yeah,
a record store in Chicago, and that really
yeah, yeah,
inspiring you to just go ahead and give it a go to try and make it an entertainment. And all these years later, you have that. I think that's awesome. But
yeah,
I'm obviously not walking in your shoes, and even getting to spend a couple of minutes next to somebody that important to you had to have been
yeah,
surreal enough. I'm assuming that you were floating. Like I met Bill Murray a couple weeks ago, and he's on that pedestal for me. So
yeah.
it was an out of body experience for me. So I'm guessing you went through something similar at that time, right?
Yeah, I did. I mean, but at the 50th, it was like that was happening like every 2 seconds. Cher was sitting in front of us with Kevin Costner and and Ben Stiller was like down. It was like, and it was also the combination of like people that I sort of knew that I wanted to talk to, but I couldn't. Like, I know Ben Stiller a little bit, and I hadn't seen him in years, and I'm a big fan of Severance. But I didn't have time to go and tell him that. Like when I walked by him, we just go and hey man, like, and I ran into Will Ferrell. It was just like we just hugged each other for like 30 seconds and just like we're talking into each other's ears, and we were laughing about it. Like don't let me go, don't let me go, because then I got to go talk to other people. But it was just like a lot of those moments of just, it was very surreal, and it was very like sweet, and you know, I got to see Jay Moore, who I hadn't seen in a while, who I love. Um, it's like those kind of moments. Like I was thinking, like me and Jay were joking, like I gotta text you, like because we used to text each other, like, and he's really special, like to me. Like we would text each other, encouraging like text, like "Have a great day," and like "You're number one in my world." That kind of like just stupid, corny sort of like BS, but like it would make us laugh, and it would also make you go, okay, you know what? I'm gonna have a good day. Uh, but yeah, it's those kind of things that like we didn't have time to like really catch up at the 50th.
It sounds like everybody was going through the bride and groom experience at a wedding where you literally get 15 seconds with one person before the next person wants to pull you over and congratulate you and share a memory.
Yeah. Yeah, it was wild. It was at one point too, like one of the crazier things was I was we were walking during the after party, and we were walking next to a couple. And then she turned around and stopped and said, "Hey, I really love your work." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And then it was Lady Gaga and her like fiance. And then we and I didn't it didn't dawn on me until like after a few moments of talking to her. And then I was like, "Oh, hey, I know who you are." Like I suddenly became like this, "Oh yeah." And then I told her a story about seeing her when she was first starting out. And she remembered it. She remembered the gig. She
Wow.
remembered, because I was telling her things that she said to the audience that were really funny.
Hmm.
And she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you saw that show." I was like, "Yeah, I saw you like when you were first starting." Anyways, I'm going on and on about that.
No, no, it's quite all right. Now you mentioned that you missed part of the weekend because you are getting to act on Broadway for the very first time. How cool of an experience has it been getting to be a part of the play All In? I know I heard you talking with David Cross about it because he was a temporary character in that, but it sounds like you have more of a steadfast role in that play.
Yeah, I mean, I just did it longer than him, but he and I rehearsed it together, and we opened together too. Uh, so he had a shorter run. It was a blast, man. I like it was the preparation for it was hard because as a comedian or as an improviser and stuff, you just feel like, okay, well, I learned this. Now I'm ready to do it for an audience. But then, you do it over and over and over and over again, and then you do it for a sold out audience, and there's no like, there was no like easy off ramp to like, okay, we're going to let you go do the show for like a high school or a test audience and get comfortable. It was like, no, we're going to rehearse you for a week and then you're going to go do it on Broadway. And then the show was good. It was a blast to do. Simon Rich, the writer of this piece, was very good. It was like, he's just a very funny guy, and I got to work with Lin Manuel, Miranda, and Anna Lee Ashford, who are two both amazing Broadway performers. And me and David, we were joking that like the part of the fun for us was watching them perform,
Yeah.
because they're so good. And like I would look at her, and I just totally fell in love with her too. She's just the best. She's the best. But just watching her like discover things every night as she was doing this show, I was just like, now that's a real actor. Like that, I want to be that good. And Lynn was the same, man. It was like he'd been doing the show for a while, but he had such a fun, lighthearted charisma. Like he loves performing, and he loves like being on stage, and he loves like Broadway. I even was teasing him. I go, "You love beer." I go, "You love Broadway, don't you?" Because he had, on his day off, he went and saw some plays, like some other shows, and he was like, "Yeah, I saw blah blah blah," and I was like, "You love Broadway, don't you?" And he goes, "Well, I am on the Tony committee." I'm like, oh, "Okay, yeah, yeah, you do love Broadway." So, but yeah, it was fun to do. I hope I get to do it again, and we'll see what happens.
It's interesting because you have all these different experiences as an entertainer. Obviously, stand up has been a part of that for more than 15 years now. You've done
Yeah.
improv sketch comedy in Chicago with SNL. You've acted in front of cameras for TV shows and movies too. Is there something that you're able to take away from that Broadway experience and apply it to how you go about doing your business on stage at Cap City Comedy Club this weekend?
Well, the thing with I think the thing I took away from Broadway is something I already knew, but it just was reinvigorated. Is that I know what I'm doing.
Hmm.
Basically, that's it. Like I know what I'm doing, and whether I'm doing a joke or a bit that I've done before or something new, like you're in good hands with Tim Meadows. That's all I can say. And if you just like anything, you know, you might not like it or you might not be entertained. You might think there's other people that are better, and that's all good. But I think, you know, people coming to see my show, they're going to see a seasoned, confident performer um, perform for 45 minutes, and you won't go away regretting that you came.
Yeah, I did not get to see you last time around, but I'm planning on attending this weekend, and there are some great opportunities. Friday at 7 and 9:15, Saturday 7 and 9:30, and a Sunday 7 p.m. show. Go to capcitycomedy.com to snag those tickets. Going to be well worth the price of admission. Tim, it is always a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much for the time. Congrats on that
Likewise.
basketball championship many years ago, and I look forward to the
You
next.
too. All right. Take care.